What's up everybody? Gabe Spencer on another edition of The Scattered Chef. Today I've got something super special for you guys. You know, this spring we went down to the coast here in Texas, Port Aransas, and we caught a bunch of big monster redfish. And today we're gonna be stuffing those with some blue crab, slapping them in the oven. Let's get to it. All right, ingredient time. Here's what we need. First things, breadcrumbs. So I've got 3 cups of breadcrumbs. This is just the ones that you buy in the can, already ready to go. Some Old Bay seasoning, we're gonna use a little bit of that. Lemon, some crab meat. Let me tell you a little bit about this crab meat. Guys, use any kind of crab meat you want, just not imitation. I've tried imitation, it's not great. You can buy the really expensive lump crab, it's like 50 bucks a can, or you can buy the little bit cheaper stuff that's kind of where they keep the sardines. It works great. Like I said, you just want that good crab flavoring, just not imitation. So we've got crab meat, 3 ribs of celery, 1 egg. We're gonna use half a stick of butter and a pinch of parsley, and then about half a cup of mayonnaise. All right, for the star of the show, these are the ones we were whacking over in Port Aransas. We got some monster redfish fillets, a lot of the red meat's taken out of it. So there's everything there. We're gonna get all this chopped up. We're gonna start making the stuffing and get that on there. We're gonna stuff this redfish, slide it in the oven. Let me show you guys what we're doing here. All right, so we're gonna get everything chopped up here. First things first, we wanna go ahead and get this celery chopped up. I'm just gonna go ahead and trim all the leaves. I don't know if you call them the butts. We're gonna get the butts trimmed off here. Get that thrown away. Throw that in the trash bowl. Then what I like to do is, because I want this really fine when I mix, I don't want big giant chunks of celery in there. So I'm just gonna split these ribs like this. If you got a really extra wide one, you can split it again. Said I just want, that celery's gonna add a little flavor to it, but it's gonna add a little crunch to it as well. Put a little more texture in each bite. So you guys can see how fine I've got this. Just, and I'm looking for, if there's any bits that aren't, you know, they don't match, I kind of pull those out or chop them up the correct way. I don't need a lot here. Like I said, just 3 ribs full. So I'm gonna put these in my bowl. Next, I'm just gonna chop up a little bit of parsley. Parsley adds just a little flavor to it, but it gives it some good color. Just a good medium chop on it. Nothing crazy. See any of those big stems, I might pull those out. Just gives it some good color into that stuffing. All right, so now we're gonna add our breadcrumbs. I have a little bit left over here, that's fine. Our mayonnaise, a little bit of that mayonnaise. Get an egg in there. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and start mixing this mixture up here. Not gonna add in my Old Bay or anything just yet. Start mixing this together. Now this is all gonna cook down and really just kind of all marry up once we get it into that redfish. And I just kind of slowly incorporate my mayonnaise in there. I don't want it dry when it goes in there. We need it to be really moist, and that mayonnaise is what really keeps that moisture into that stuffing. And the egg is what's gonna bind it together so it doesn't fall apart on you. So that's the reason why you add those. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add my crab meat. I always kind of overdo it on crab meat. I like there to be a lot of crab in there. It already smells good. As soon as that crab gets in there, it already starts working. That crab holds a lot of moisture too, so that's going to add some moisture back to your mix. It's starting to look like maybe like a chicken salad or something like that. Add a little bit of Old Bay on it. Maybe a couple teaspoons. Stuff goes a long ways. That's what's going to give it that really kind of brightens that flavor up, that crab flavor. Kind of gets that maybe like a little Creole, maybe a little East Coast flavor, Maryland crab. Add a little bit more. I'll look at the color as well. And then finally we're going to work our lemon into it. I like to roll that lemon. Like if you guys use that trick right here where you just kind of roll that lemon in the palm of your hand against something, it's going to already kind of loosen that up and get some juices going. Split that in half. That'll work. Like I said, I don't add a ton of salt to things in the beginning. I'll salt it afterwards. Remember, the crab's already got some salt in it, so you might hit it with a little bit of black pepper. That's definitely going to help it. If you want it, it's fine. I try to not get carried away with that Old Bay. I don't want to just drown out the flavors in it. So that looks awesome. Now we're going to take kind of the star of the show, which is our redfish, and now we're actually going to stuff this. We're going to roll it up. We're going to put it in a Pyrex pan. We're going to slide this in the oven, and then we're going to make a lemon butter sauce over the top of that, and that's what's going to kind of bring it all together, kind of glue for all of it. So let's get to it. I'm going to get to stuffing these things, show you how it's done. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to butter my pan. Just take a little bit of butter. This butter has already been softened up a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and just butter this pan. It just keeps that redfish from sticking to the bottom of my pan. Don't want to do that. So I've got my oven set at 350 right now, so it's been warming up. I'm going to slide that in there for a little bit. Just get some butter in there. Can't overdo the butter, right? So get that going. And let's go and get these things stuffed. All right, so first thing you're gonna notice, I've switched my cutting board up to a plastic one. I don't want to get all that fish juice inside my nice cutting board. So first thing, we're gonna take our redfish fillet here. I always do you get this little bit of red meat in there. Some fish you need to cut that out of. It's kind of got a more fishy taste. Redfish isn't too bad. So I'm just gonna take some of this. We're gonna start stacking it just right down, kind of down the middle of this fillet. I don't want to go all the way to the tail of it. Just get some in there like this. Get my Pyrex pan. And then we're just going to start rolling this up just like this. Maybe add just a hair bit more right there. And then where it's rolled, my seam is on the bottom, right? So I want to take this seam and just set it right there on top, or just set it right there in my Pyrex. Okay, so I got the seam on the bottom, because if you don't, in the cooking process, things are going to try to unfold on you. So we want this, so when we plate it, it looks really nice. You can set this on a bed of some wild rice or whatever, maybe whatever you want. Put it on all kinds of stuff. So let's get another one rolled up here. And I'm doing 3 of these. It's a lot of fish when you are serving it to people. So it goes a long ways. You can see the consistency of that. It's it's easily kind of like a crab cake. You just stack it right in the center of it, like this, and then get it behind it and just start rolling it in. Like that, and it's gonna spread it a little bit. There's your seam on the bottom. Stack it like that. And I also like to leave a little bit of gap. I don't want the two touching each other because it may not cook perfectly. So A little bit of gap for that hot air to move through it in the oven. Do one more here. This is a little smaller one. So flip this over this way. And I'll flip it here like this. Start rolling out. This one might be like kid size. Right here. So again, seam side down, a little bit of gap right there. And then now we've got some extra stuffing. So I'm just gonna take this, spoon a little bit on top. This here. Top of there. You can get some at the bottom of the pan because that butter is going to melt out of there. It's going to be really great. It's the stuff that people kind of fight for. And some of it will char up a little bit, so use it as kind of a garnishment where it gives a little color. All right, perfect. So that's it for that. So this is what it should look like when you get it all knocked out. So seam side down, got a little gap there for the air to move through it. Let's go and get this in the oven. I've got it preheated to 350 for probably about 15 to 20 minutes. So fish cooks really quick. All the ingredients in this are gonna cook really quick. So something that you don't have to wait around. It'll give us just enough time to make that lemon butter sauce that we're gonna pour over the top of it and get it plated up. All right, so oven 350, let's get this in here. Set my timer. For 15 minutes, and we'll check it, see how it's coming along. So let's go and get this sauce ready. Let me show you how to put this together. It's really, really simple. Don't be afraid of some sauces because, like I said, this is something that's really easy, just a few ingredients, and it'll really make this redfish shine. All right, guys, so one thing about sauces is a lot of people get kind of freaked out by them because some of them out there can be really difficult, but this one right here is super, super simple. So you only need a couple different ingredients. And the thing about this lemon butter sauce, you can use it on chicken, you can use it works great on fish, works great on a lot of things. You can put it right over just some pasta, and it just really is just a bright, really great sauce. Let me show you how to do this. Ingredients wise, I'm gonna use 3/4 stick of butter. I'm gonna grate one or probably half a garlic on this one, half a lemon, and then about 2 tablespoons of finely chopped parsley. So just a handful of ingredients. I'm gonna get this in a 8-inch skillet, and we're just gonna make this sauce together. And we're gonna get this over the redfish right when it comes out. All right, so this is just a really micro fine grater. You know, I use it this side out. Just kind of shave this off here. I don't want there to be big giant chunks of garlic inside the sauce. I just want you to be able to taste it and not chew on big giant chunks. And garlic goes a long ways. You don't want to overdo this. It's not going to take a whole lot of garlic. So I'm going to get this grated down, and we're going to get this over to the sauce. It's over on the cooktop here. All right, so I've got the butter in the pan. I'm just gonna slowly melt this down. I started with kind of a room temperature butter, so it's really gonna melt down really fast. And one thing on this, when you do it, you don't wanna brown it or get it too hot. If it starts to boil and kind of start to fry, you've got it too hot. So I'm just gonna slowly just keep this thing moving until it's completely melted. All right, so it's melted down really nice here. As it's melting down, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of black pepper, not a lot. I don't want it to start frying on me. So I'm gonna take it off and on of that skillet, or just turn my fire down a little bit. Mess up everything. I can't keep a kitchen clean at all. If you guys could see how much stuff gets spilled in the process of making these and gets just tore up. I know it looks like when we're cooking, like the kitchen's always nice and clean. It's not. I'm just gonna tell you, it's all magic of maybe Hollywood, but it definitely doesn't stay clean. It's one reason scattered chef, right? So I've got that nice and melted down. I added a little bit of black pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of sea salt, just a pinch. All right, perfect. Now, to add the rest of it, I'm gonna kill the fire. So no heat at all. I'm gonna add my probably half a teaspoon of garlic. I'm gonna whisk that in, and I wanna do this for about a minute. So just keep that whisking in there, keep it moving for about a minute before I really add my lemon juice, which that's what's really gonna brighten everything up. So I got 5 minutes left on my redfish, and I'm one of those kind of guys, I want something that's gonna really be timed to come out at the same time. So, looking great, smelling great. So, about a minute. This is just really, the reason it does that, and I'm using an unsalted butter as well, so make sure that's really key. Unsalted butter. If you use a salted butter and you add a little more salt to it, it's going to probably knock you down. So start off with always unsalted butter. Anytime I'm cooking something in a recipe, I use salted butter for bread or something. Come together nice. You can see that fresh grated garlic, and it's really bringing a lot of the aromatics of that out. So now we're going to juice half a lemon in it. And if you squeeze that lemon into your hand, you'll catch all the seeds. Or you can use a juicer, that's fine too. All right, great. And then add just a little bit of that parsley to it. It just gives it some color, and that parsley adds a nice little flavor to it as well. And you don't need a ton, you don't need a lot. This is just 3/4 of a stick of butter. So you can see how it's kind of thickened up just a little bit. I kept it off the heat. Now it's ready. So a few minutes later, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing plated up. It smells awesome. Pull this out of the oven, go get it plated, and we're gonna finally get to eat it. So it's my favorite part of doing this show. All right, so what I've done is just to kind of finish it off, this thing's been in there. I actually bumped the temperature up just a hair to kind of get it rolling a little bit more, but I actually put it on broil. And when I put it on broil, it gets that top heat in the oven, and that stuffing that I had on top actually browns that a little bit more and kind of crisps it up. It's just gonna add some more color to the plate when you plate it up. All right, timer's off. It's all crisped up on the top. Let's get this pulled out. Looks awesome, smells awesome. Try not to burn your face off. Look at this. Oh yeah. All right, super simple. You can see it's got a little of that brown crust on top. All right, so we got this right here. Look at that. Awesome. Perfect. Now, a little garnish time, and we're gonna get this sauce put on there. So we got this lemon butter sauce, a little bit of parsley in it. Just pour this over the top a little bit. Doesn't take a lot. I just want to give it enough to where it runs out on the plate a little bit. And then we're going to garnish it with a little bit of fresh parsley and hit it with a lemon wedge right there. And there it is. Crab stuffed redfish, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm getting ready to dive a fork into this thing and try to kill it again and see how it turned out. All right, guys, here it is. It's all finished up, fresh out of the oven, stuffed with all that crab, all that lemon butter on top. Can't wait to try it out. And here we go, check this out. Absolutely fabulous. Super tender, super flaky. Talking my mouth full yet again. Guys, try this out. This redfish is amazing. Get some crab meat, stuff it up, throw it in the oven, tell your friends. Subscribe to this channel. My name is Gabe Spencer. This is The Scattered Chef. I'll catch you guys on the next one.